Okay, I think I can talk now. I also have to clear my throat a lot, but... So today has been a hell of a thing. It hasn't been bad or anything like that. And hello to you too, Lady Mage. But I woke up. Yes, I am okay. I'm just undergoing a series of minor misfortunate accidents that have convinced me that I am balancing out luck for something. So, I woke up about 5 hours ago, sleeping in, really. I don't even have the flu. That wasn't what caused my coughing fit. And I would have slept in longer, but, a cat decided to use the litter box and then immediately jump up on my face. While there was none of the, more icky stuff directly traveling with the cat, all four of their paws did have litter, which they deposited right onto my face. Thanks for that, cat. So, I did not sleep any longer after that, and got up. I'm fine with hugs. So I get up, sat down, and suddenly, I had no internet connection. So I could not relax, while I was still trying to gain cognizance enough to get up to go to the bathroom to wash my face off. I couldn't even, sit down and watch a video. So I kind of resigned myself to, just going to the bathroom, washing my face, stumbling around, and I stubbed my toe because another cat ran right in front of me, making me alter trajectory, swing my foot out, and smash my pinky toe into the wall. So, a few grumbled four-letter words later, I hopped into the bathroom and finally washed off my face. And while I'm washing off my face, I've got my face down in the sink. Cat number 3 decides to dive bomb me because Blackjack, this time, has decided to start taking up perching in the bathroom on this little shelf that sits above the toilet that holds, like medicines and stuff. So instead of our medicine cabinet being right above the sink, it's above the toilet. But it's also a good 8 feet up to the top of this thing. And Blackjack can pretty much leap there from the floor without any problem now. He's gotten enough practice. And so while I'm sitting with my head in the sink, this cat jumps down from there onto my shoulders. Yes, Blackjack is training for assassin camp, which caused me to smack my head into the bottom of the sink. So I thought that might be the end of the day. No, that's not it. Because I go to, I get through the next couple of hours with no incidents. So then I go to take a shower. And during the shower, I, of course, get soap in both eyes. Yay, while I'm washing my face, because shower, the gel squirts and gets right in both eyes in gel form before it had even lathered up. So I'm like, ah! Hi, Pete. So then, except for the fact that we really don't have any good place to put it in that bathtub. There's no real good spot for bar soap to hang out. It doesn't have any dishes or anything. It's all flat surfaces that the bar soap would just fall right off of. So, after the shower, which I took just a little while ago, by the way, I decided, you know what, screw this, I've had a hell of a day, I want ice cream. So I go to the fridge, get the little, I tried out some little, they call them slices by Ben & Jerry's, where it's basically like they take a chunk of ice cream and form it into a log, then chop it up and dip it in chocolate, basically. So I was eating that right before the stream when one of the shards of chocolate got down and lodged in my throat and launched me into a coughing fit. So yeah, that's been my day so far. How have you been? Can you hear? Do I have anything in the L2? No, I do not. I'm right here. I would imagine you're better than when it started. Yeah, I would imagine. You're mentally more sound than I am, so... So tell you about this game. Where do we begin? Let's see. It is a visual novel. It is very, very story heavy. I have not seen much in the way of choices to make yet, which would make this more of a game, but it is a story where you play a transfer student who comes to this little town of Hinamizawa, and your father's an artist, your mother's kind of, like a housewife, and, you come to this little town and immediately befriend two girls your age and two girls that are, 5 or 6 years younger at the very least than you are. And, yeah, pretty much everyone in this town is... It's one of those towns that looks sane and just kind of quiet and sleepy at first glance. But, they hold festivals about cotton because they think cotton can absorb all the evil in the world. Insert your own tampon joke here if you really must. And, they send cotton down the river in a festival, and some people believe that if you don't attend the festival, the god the festival is around kills you. Or just arranges for your death somehow. And it's been that way for a few years. And, yeah, the characters are something. But anyway, I can't really summarize it more than that. There was a murder at some point. They still haven't recovered all the body. They keep mentioning that they can't find one of the arms. Yeah, one of those things. Oh, my voices are going to be interesting for this game today. Anyway. Also, you rarely have any clearly defined idea of who's speaking. This is all you get. You get text with quotes around it to differentiate speech. Is that too loud? I don't think it is. I think that's about the right volume. Yeah, we're part of this club where we essentially play every game like it was the last final duel in Yu-Gi-Oh! Go figure. Good morning! Nice job yesterday, Kei-chan. You didn't do so badly yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun! Oh, also the festival had just happened? Insert screams of anybody who's played Doki Doki Literature Club. The festival just happened the night before, and it turns out that, our parents didn't manage to make it? So, yeah, we may run into their corpse at some point. Yay, anime. Oh, that's right. Keiji-kun, thank you very much. For Mr. Bear. I'm glad you like it. Don't use it as a pincushion, though. I wouldn't. Still chatting happily, we entered the classroom, but the moment I stepped into the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. It was a bucket filled to the brim with water, and unfortunately, my foot stepped right into it. Oh good, this music. My now, how diligent of you to mop the floor this morning! Plomp, plomp, plomp. I think that's how you say that. Wah! Keiji-san flicked my forehead! You should set a more brutal trap next time. Seeing that, Reina began to swoon as Mion looked on dejectedly. Everything was the same as always. Everybody was there and nothing felt out of place. The uncertainties I'd had in the back of my mind since yesterday had vanished. What is it, Keiji-kun? Didn't get enough sleep, maybe? Maybe? I slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment during class. You shouldn't do that. Mion alerted us that the teacher was coming, so everyone shuffled off to their seats. Good morning, everyone! So yesterday was the festival. Thank you all to the people who stayed until the very end to help clean up. We were all slackers, so none of us actually helped clean up. Actually, I had a feeling that the only thing we did was run around the festival and cause a ruckus. Okay then, this time of year, you might see some people from out of town doing interviews about the festival for magazines. And I thought it was the usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, but then I noticed a different tone in her voice and started paying attention. You may be asked questions. Please don't say anything silly or something that could be taken the wrong way. What do you want, you assassin? Do you understand? Do you hear me? In unison, everyone replied, Yes, ma'am! What she'd said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. Snitches get stitches. That's what she was trying to say. After all, this was the 5th year. There were probably lots of third-rate reporters pouring in, hoping something regarding the curse had happened. It did nothing but perpetuate the village's bad image. She was saying, Don't spout stupid shit you think is funny. And now, I was one of the ones who needed to keep their mouths shut. I found it rather cute how I felt a sense of unity from such a trite thing, if I do say so myself. I was summoned to club activities after school. Since everybody was still pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Today, let's play a classic game of deduction. Ooh, Murder in Hong Kong was fun. How about this one? Oh, a game from overseas. Looks interesting. The instructions are in English, but the rules don't seem that hard. Or are they playing Clue? I won't lose, you hear? I'm not too bad at this game. It seemed that Reina didn't handle this type of game very well. Clue, they're playing Clue. The rules are, the person who can match the murderer, weapon, and the scene of the crime wins. There were 3 kinds of cards comprised of suspects, weapons, and locations. And speaking of fun little games, I've been learning Betrayal at House on the Hill. I think that's the full name of it. That is an interesting game, and I'm so glad we're playing the tabletop simulator of it. Why do you add the dough on the end of Clue? I never understood that. I'm kidding. But, you know, just, we call it Clue, you call it Cluedo. Yeah, but Betrayal at House on the Hill, that is an interesting game. I've played like 3 rounds of it. So if you ever get a chance to learn that game, it is all kinds of fun. Sadly, because I just kind of gravitate towards picking the red color for my seat, I generally end up being the, basically the big, strong dummy of the group. Guy named Ox. But then again, I get to kill people when they turn against us. So, you know, it all kind of evens out. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to learn that one is a lot of fun. Yeah, not the Speedster. Yeah, we should try Tabletop Simulator sometime. Does anybody in this group not have it? I'm just kind of curious. I think the one time I wasn't Ox, I was the white player. Was it a priest? I think it was a priest. I could see that the names Mion and Rika were written on the suspect cards. Ooh, a card with my name on it as well! There are plenty of different weapons too, like knives, axes, and poison. The locations are pretty nice too, like the living room, the study, and the courtyard. So basically, you take out one of each of the cards. These are the answer cards. So we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones. Ah, I see. So the cards nobody has are the true perpetrators. I was never any good at Clue. Then you raise your hand if you know the answer. Ah, you have it. The game ends and we check if the answer is correct. If you're right, then you get a point. If you're wrong, then you lose a point. Since the game ends, even if no one gets it right, all the cards are gathered up and redistributed. You'll learn as you go! You really have to use your brain! Yeah, but Tabletop Simulator is something everybody has to have to play. It's not like Jackbox where just one person has it, everybody can play. But yeah. You'll get confused if you don't take notes. The rest you can figure out by playing. So, Neon, what's the penalty this time? Everyone directed their attention to Neon. Let's see. We're all still a little tired from yesterday, so maybe we'll take it easy with a gopher penalty. Not to mention last time, I got level 3 supered by the superintendent. Thanks for that, guys. You'll be asked to rush out and buy stuff for everyone. So just being asked to go buy stuff like drinks and candy, I guess. I feel like the penalty today is pretty simple. I wonder, is it really? Is Keiichi-san thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. You don't know what you'll have to go by. I'm betting Neon would send out whoever loses to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or happy family planning manual or other crazy stuff. The cards were lightly shuffled and passed out to each player. The real perpetrator, the correct weapon, and the scene of the murder have been taken out, so that means all the cards I have in my hand are innocent ones. Then, I'll go first since I'm the club president, I guess. Well then, Neon, Knife, Study! You pick one suspect, one weapon, and murder scene, and ask each person. If you have any of those cards, then you must say, I have one. However, you don't need to say which one you have. Yeah, I got it. Me too. I have one. Oh my! All of them are here! 3 people answered when she asked if they had Neon, Knife, and Study. So that means that Neon, Knife, and Study are all in the clear. Gotta jot that down. Then I'll go. Reina, Axe, Lounge. Only 2 people said they had one. So it means, out of Reina, Axe, and Lounge, one of them is correct and one is part of the crime. No, wait. Even if they say they have one, they don't have to say how many. It's possible that either Satoko or Rika-chan has 2 of the cards. Well, Kei-chan is next. Go ahead. Oh, wait just a little. I'm still sorting things out. The game has me thinking more than I thought. Man, this feels like it's going to be tough. Alright, now I have the criminal. What? Already? Here I am spinning around in circles and Neon just now raises her hand. The murderer is Rika-chan! In the infirmary with the poison! Well? Neon drew the cards from the box and we checked to see if her deduction was right. You were right! Eh? All I needed was one more hand! I couldn't tell whether it was poison or a pistol! I never use a pistol. I like killing them slowly with poison. Rika-chan's such a hugely terrifying thing with such a sweet little face. This is foreshadowing, isn't it? Everyone's making a commotion about how they almost had it. Reina and I were left out in the cold, though. How did you do, Keiichi-kun? I couldn't get it at all. Don't worry, I had no idea either. How can you both be so unsure? You'll both end up in last place together at this rate. That's even worse. Going off buying something together as a couple. What if we ended up having to buy the Happy Family Planning Guide? I can tell that from Keiichi's expression that he's not very good at this game. Ah, that's not true! I'll show you the true power of Sherlock Maebara during the next round! My, that sounds just wonderful! I shall give you quite the thrashing! After that, I somewhat managed to grasp the trick behind the game, but I was still always a step or 2 behind. I saw that Neon was somehow gleaning information from how the others were asking their questions. That level of experience was just too much. The only way I could stage a comeback is if I became ruthless. I tossed out the simple concept of deduction and switched over to the thought process needed to win. The important thing isn't to find out the criminal, it's to win at the game. Eureka! Ah, sorry. Need to go to the bathroom. Take your time and squeeze out a nice one. Mi-chan, that's gross. I had them hold off the game and headed down the hall. The air was crisp. It showed just how stagnant the air in the classroom was from our body heat. On the school grounds, some of our classmates were still playing around. After spending some time cooling my head, Reina had made her way over towards me. Keiji-kun, did you call for me? Yeah, I did. As I got up from my seat, I winked over at Reina. I'm glad it worked out. I don't want to waste much time, so I'll get right to the point. Reina, what's your record at this game we're playing today? She was taken aback. After a moment, she hesitantly opened her mouth. Well, all losses. Why do you ask, I wonder? I could tell from how apprehensively she was playing. The way things are going, I will as well. I can't figure out a way to pull off a last-minute comeback on this one. So, I guess both of us will be taking that penalty? Hey, don't accept defeat already! How about we win this? Both of us. But how can we? I brought my lips up to Reina's ear. Huh? Is that allowed? Did you forget, Reina? The second rule of our society. Do everything in your power to obtain victory. Yeah, I'll try my best. During the break, you're checking on chicken soup. Our plan of attack was quite a rudimentary one. At the beginning of the game, everyone would be focused on their own hand for a while, taking notes and whatnot. Since our seats were right next to each other, we would reveal our hands to each other. If we did it under this, then nobody would know. We'd begin the game with twice as much information as everyone else. Having this much information means we need to investigate less. With this sort of a plan of attack, we start off with a big lead over the other guys. Yeah, with this we can probably win. We both smirked at each other. If I was the shady businessman, then Reina was a corrupt senator. Pleasure doing business with you. Then let's hurry back. We'll work as a duo to surprise everyone. Hey now, there's no point if we go back together. It'd be like flat out telling them we made a little arrangement. Oh, sorry. Then what should we do? Oh. Go back ahead of me, Reina. I'll take my time coming back after washing my face or something. Okay, got it. Reina turned around and headed back to the classroom. I guess I should wait a bit longer before going back. If I went too soon, it wouldn't seem like I went to the bathroom. If Neon or one of them suspected something, there could be problems. Well, they'd figure out sooner or later, because both Reina and I would start winning over and over again. Both Reina and I have earned enough points to avoid being the losers. Both Reina and I will have earned enough points to avoid being the losers by the time Neon realized what was happening. Excellent! Not bad at all! Mebari-kun, may I have a moment? Huh? It's a teacher. Man, things were just getting good. What is it? I'm a bit... You have a guest. Please make your way to the entrance. Oh no, we've heard that before. Ain't falling for it, lady. Or you are, I guessed. Or this is news that, our parents have been brutally murdered. Something like that. It's not like I own a hotel. They've been waiting. Please hurry. It was rather unfortunate that I'd have someone waiting on me right before my big match, but I was more interested in the unexpected guest. I didn't want to waste any time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. The entryway was a heavy contrast from the hot sunlight and deep shadows. Waiting there, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man, his tie sloppily loosened and his jacket tucked underneath his arm. Are you Miyabara-san? Keiichi Miyabara-san? There was no question that he wasn't a resident of Hinamizawa, and that this was, without a doubt, the first time he'd met me. Is that Jim Sterling wearing suspenders? I have to ask. Ever since I met Tomataki-san, I've been running into so many middle-aged men. I will not comment on that. That's right. Who might you be? I have the AC on in my car. Let's talk there. Bit hot here, don't you think? The man, completely ignoring my question, pointed over to his car parked near the gate and began walking. You gotta be kidding me. I had no intention of going along with some geezer I didn't even know. He just asked me to get in his car with him? I'm not gonna bite. Come on now. He opened the back door of his car and called me over. I didn't like this old man, but I wanted to know what this was about. Even while knowing that conversations that start out like this have never led to anything good. He made sense for about 2 seconds. And then he got in the car. Get in the goddamn car, Keiji. The inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditioners were supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car, at least. Please let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it all the way up. So, what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me and start my own line of questioning. He pulled out a notepad from his pocket and took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. On the face of it was a pretty goofy-looking guy. Hey, wait, that's me! Oh, wait, no, it didn't. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck was this? I doubted even his close friends would be able to recognize who he was from the expressionless picture that looked like it was taken at the DMV. There were scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker. Starting with yours, Miyabara-san, and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. Huh? This is Tomataki-san? There was no hint of his usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. It was an expressionless, half-asleep face. Then do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea of who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was with Tomataki-san last night. I didn't know what her name was, but I did know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. When was the last time you saw these two? The night of the walk to Nagashi. We spoke. They seem pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response from my inquiry. Thus, I replied to that silence in kind. I was pretty sure, certain, that this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking about Tomataki-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Other than the fact that my name was signed on the shirt the guy was wearing. Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than I did? The roar of the air conditioner felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he finally spoke again. You moved here just recently, isn't that right, Miyabara-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyashiro-sama? My heart began to race. I'm pretty terrible at hiding things. It probably showed on my face. Not at all? If you don't. Not at all? If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I have heard of it. Tomataki-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? The dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents had always happened the day of the Watanagashi, ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomataki-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather I didn't want to think there was anything more than that.
Do you know of that, well, curse, Miyabara-san? Feel free to speak openly about it.
I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it, as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts. That was the more prominent feeling.
Really? Then that's great. Guess you really are one of those city-raised boys.
So what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting. Could you get to the point?
The man in this picture is dead.
My mind went blank. Huh? What happened to Tomataki-san?
It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of the Watanagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Miyabara-san?
Implications? Not any for the cause of his death or for the reason behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day of the Watanagashi, meaning this year. The curse of Oyashiro-sama had once again...
The death of Jiro Tomataki is still confidential. You can understand why that is, right?
I didn't want to understand why. Please tell me. Tell me what happened.
It was rather peculiar. It might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised in Hinamizawa.
It was a roundabout way of saying it, but it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. I would only regret forcing myself to learn something I shouldn't. Or at least that's how I figured I'd feel if I listened to the rest. The creepy photographer is freaking dead. I can't believe Tomataki's fucking dead, guys.
One of our patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from the security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 to midnight. The location was, you know where the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past the slope, on the shoulder, around there.
There were few streetlights on that road. Its pitch-black darkness was only broken by the lights of passing cars and the moon.
It wasn't me! It was the one-armed man! We'll interrogate Colonel Sanders right away.
It was a stroke of luck that Tomataki-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tomataki-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first. But when the officer checked...
We thought it was a hit and run at first. But when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open.
From a knife or something?
No. Nails.
Nails? As in fingernails? With those he clawed through?
From the coroner's report, it was revealed it was with his own nails.
Huh? Well, what does that mean?
It means you left him hanging last night.
Basically, it means that it wasn't a murder. It was suicide. Tomataki-san thought there was a reason to tear open his own throat. As hard as he could with his own nails. Tore through his skin and slowly started to bleed. And even then, Tomataki-san didn't stop. He continued clawing. With enough intensity that it could have peeled off his nails. Still clawing. Still clawing. Then as his nails reached those vital arteries that you should never damage, he continued clawing. Splurt! Blood splattered on the ground around him. As he bled, while gasping for breath, he collapsed. His body spasmed, and he died in agony.
We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected.
But this? It was a suicide? I've never heard of such a thing. This unnatural way of dying. This wasn't a mysterious death, then what was? The way he died, in those 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. As if to show both myself and Tomataki-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. Now you see, you would think you might be able to die from blood loss long before you actually claw through your throat to get to the carotid artery and such, but anime!
There were a few more suspicious details. From his body chemistry, perspiration, epilation, and so on, we concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death.
That was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in a sound state of mind while clawing out their own throat.
Wounds on his hands matched a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he struck trees and the guardrails within. Tomataki-san's blood was found all over the place.
Meaning that while tearing at his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber.
There were external injuries, which were not self-inflicted, discovered on Tomataki-san. There's a high possibility that Tomataki-san was assaulted. The external injuries suggest there may be multiple suspects.
To summarize, Tomataki-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic, after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then he died.
The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m. Meaning, it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomataki-san at the festival.
Book him, Dano. Everyone signed Tomataki-san's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that... yeah, he should have been with a woman. What about her?
She's missing. She hadn't shown up to work and she hadn't returned home either. There's a very high probability that she was involved in this incident.
For a while, I could only gaze off into space. I never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to somebody close to me could affect me this deeply. Really? Something bad happening to somebody can affect you? How did you not see this coming? The time I'd spent with Tomataki-san was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us.
We've been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Oishiro-sama's curse, the villagers here aren't very cooperative.
That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomataki-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me. Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa. I should have been angry that that was the reason you wanted to hear what happened from me.
If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomataki died from Oyashiro-sama's curse.
He turned away from me and gazed far off into the distance.
The night of the Watanagashi, during that sacred ritual, he callously snapped off photos, angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it's going to turn out.
There's no way Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomataki-san. Tomataki-san had to be killed by humans, and a cowardly group no less. There's no way I'm going to let this end up being the fault of some curse.
I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment or curses.
The tense mood was cut with the man's hearty laugh.
That's how this must be, Maebara-san. Cooperation from individuals in Hinamizawa who don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Understand?
Neither Tomataki-san nor I believed in curses. But with the way things were going, it would just end up with Tomataki-san's death marking the 5th year. Which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomataki-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomataki-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tomataki-san could have been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. But there's nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either.
No. If you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that's enough.
If I see or hear, he was talking in the future tense.
Things or people or rumors. Anything is fine. Don't care if they're unfounded. Here, this is my number. If I'm not there, then just leave a message with whoever picks up.
He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I'd be mired knee-deep in this matter.
Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tomataki-san's unfortunate death.
That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. Or we could not get involved. You know, live a little longer. That's kind of an option here. We can take the piece of paper and then not actually do anything with it. I'm just saying.
Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential.
Understood.
From your friends as well. Especially from Sonozaki-san and Furude-san. Please do not inform them.
Sonozaki? You mean Mion? Why? Are you saying they have something to do with the incident? With my friends' names brought up so abruptly, and being told I was to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me! Mion's a close friend of mine! I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to be especially offended.
I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you.
Say it! He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of his car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit.
There's a possibility that the string of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of a village conspiracy.
There's no way that could be right. Can it? Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that?
No evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved, and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village.
Then how'd you come to that conclusion?
Every year, the enemies of the village die on the day of the Watanagashi. Don't you think that's reason enough to suspect something?
Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt the day of the Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa?
First, it was the dam construction foreman. Then, it was a villager that supported it. Those the village held a grudge against died one after the other from mysterious causes. The means are different, but in the end, the result is the same.
Unfounded, unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. So the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They weren't enemies of the village.
The villagers had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute. But he wasn't proactive, so there was a faction of the villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result.
Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about that housewife after that? Did she die just because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? That's a trivial reason to kill someone. What about Tomataki-san? He's not affiliated with the dam project at all. Was he killed just because he was an outsider? In the beginning, it fell on those related to the dam project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims had become much lower.
Well, that's the scary part. The bar keeps on getting lower.
What's scary about that?
It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider is reason enough.
Then next year's victim, they're just going to be picked out of the village outsider pool?
It might be a person that just moved here.
What do you mean by... I swallowed my words. Here in Hinamizawa, the ones who'd be considered the most outside would be my family. I was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by. Then the next victims, my family. Was he saying it was gonna be me? But what does that have to do with Mion?
I can't go into details, but the Sonozaki family led the dam protests. Quite fervently so. This is also true of Mion Sonozaki-san herself. She has quite a few misdemeanor and obstruction of public worker offenses on her record because of the protests.
I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight. That was the first I've heard of her family leading the protests, though. Then, well, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with this string of incidents?
I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest probability of being behind it.
Not a very clear explanation. It felt like he'd magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know.
We don't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want you to say anything to the villagers.
Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. I'm scowling at him. You can't see it, but we're scowling at the cop. Ooh, Tabletop Simulator's 50% off on Humble now, huh? That's very interesting. Just a second. So it is. It very much is. Neat. Ah! You already bought it, huh? I'm still scowling at the cop, by the way. It seemed he understood it well enough.
Then think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe it's a curse. How about that?
What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? but the reasoning behind wanting me to not carelessly open my mouth about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with a curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes. And then the villagers should have anything to do with that process. It may cause those sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. Just like everyone kept it from me so I wouldn't worry about it. Is it now my turn to keep it from them so they don't have to worry? I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went just as the man wanted, as insipid as it was, but it couldn't be helped. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine, Mr.
Uishi, from the Okinomiya police station. You can call me Kura-chan if you want.
No, Uishi-san is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. He was the spitting image of a vulgar police officer. Though, I've never seen one this bulky before in the cop shows I watch.
You calling me fat, kid? I've taken up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably let you get back to them.
The door opened with a click, and in streamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside the car. Was it really this hot of a day? It was an almost cruel heat, as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind.
I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that.
I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that self-serving.
It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Miyabara-san. There's enough proof that the village is not involved.
I'll contact you if I see or hear anything. But I'm no detective. Please don't expect too much from me.
I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have up until now. Just let me know if you notice anything.
I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow.
See you later. Farewell, Miyabara-kun.
I returned to the school building without looking back. Oh, maybe he's a storehouse of knowledge. Maybe. I don't know how much time had passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tomotaki-san's death was hard enough as it was, but to think there was the possibility of a village conspiracy? Worse still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved. Nonsense. Impossible. Not Mion, Reina, Satoko, or Rika-chan. It was a group that attacked Tomotaki-san? Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here somewhere in Hinamizawa? I don't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. It's Michan, the perpetrator! Eh? I was startled to hear Reina's voice. With the rope in the lounge. Nope. No! Reina clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you're just self-destructing over there. Wow. Ah! Keiji-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I'm seething with anger. Seethe. Sorry about that. I was called into the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for bad behavior? That's a shame.
Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's getting pretty late, let's just make the next game the last one.
If I remember right, I had 0 points. Isn't it pretty much decided I'm going to be finishing in last place?
Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. I'm at -1 points.
Huh. The heck? Her score's lower than mine and I wasn't even playing.
This is the final match to decide that the penalty is going to be carried out by Reina alone, or by both Kei-chan and Reina.
Yeah, right. Just let Reina do the penalty by herself.
We made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we would both win. I waited all this time, you know.
I'm sorry about that. In the end, we both had to go by pregnancy tests. I followed my initial plan of showing Reina my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal and who just waited for her to call.
I got it! The murderer is me, with the poison at the entrance. Is it? My, Reina, quite a quick answer. Another stab at the dark? Oh! Reina's correct. Then it's decided that Keiichi-san shall take part in the penalty as well. Hooray! Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best. Sparkle, sparkle.
Yeah, let's do our best. It's my fault, so I have no choice.
Then that's game. It's me, Mion Sonozaki, ranked first. In dead last are Keiichi Maebara and Reina Ryugu.
Everyone applauded and the game ended. The problem now was the penalty.
Now then, I ranked first, so I decide what you'll be buying for the gopher penalty.
Pregnancy tests.
Well, what will she make us buy, I wonder.
Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it?
Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper.
Whoa, there's a lot written here.
A lot? Damn it, what is she making us buy?
2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu. The heck is this?
It looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Moon was certain she was going to win today. Rule 7 of our society. You cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Fruit Fable. Thanks.
But this is just your grocery list! I promised myself that if I won next time, I'd make her go buy hemorrhoid cream. New tips. There are more than 4 perpetrators and search notice. Achievement unlocked. Not a clue. Yeah, considering this group, that's kind of a very light penalty. Let's see, so the radio log. So, more than 4 perpetrators. Hypovolemic shock induced by clawing out their own throat. Tissue is packed under the nails. Not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. The shape of the scars also matches. Yeah, I know the immediate cause of death was suicide. I get it. You're saying that the cause of death is unnatural, right?
It's kind of like when your back itches and you scratch it a little too hard and draw blood. It's nothing like that. Some of Tomataki's fingernails had been pulled out. It's actually quite simple to pull out one's own nails. But it really hurts. Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from completely pulling them out. And I say this as someone who has lost 2 toenails due to water slides not being put together correctly. Pain is a thing with nails getting pulled out. Also, there were a lot of bruises on Tomataki's body. It's clear from the shape of them that he was assaulted first by someone, or a group of people. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before death. Yeah, I have no idea who scratches your back until it's bloody. Although there have been times. Then he fought back and clawed out his own throat because of how hysterical he'd become. The guys attacking certainly would have been surprised by that. It is possible that, in such an abnormal environment, a person could perform acts that a sane individual couldn't possibly imagine. Of course, those are very rare cases. Actually, Uishi-kun, that wood plank the deceased used as a weapon, they only found sand and the paint from the guardrail on it. What about cloth fibers or skin? Nothing. The deceased didn't strike the assailants. Or it could be they took the plank he was fighting back with. In that case, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to replace it with another. They'd take them all. That's true. Tomataki's pretty built and tanned. He was quite athletic. Huh? That's right. He was pretty active. Can't imagine what type of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side, meaning he'd be difficult to overpower in a brawl. If a man with such a physique sensed he was in danger and swung around the plank quickly, it's just unthinkable that it wouldn't even nick the perpetrator. And his opponent was unarmed. The guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he'd hit him at least once. To surround and take someone down of his physique, I wonder how many people it would take. You dimwit, you should know better than anyone. Have you forgotten your bad cop days? If I was to take down this guy, how many would I need? When a group wants to take down big prey, it's fundamental to attack with numbers. I'd guess about 4. Even if there was a gap in their strength, they'd manage. Then there were quite a few perpetrators. So any drunken, disorderly groups of more than 4 are suspicious? A group of 4 or more. Just, if they had that many, then couldn't they have hidden the body in a less obvious location? You know, I have a very funny feeling that there were no other perpetrators here, despite the bruises and all that. Just a feeling that there might not have been anyone else involved. Or did he somehow break away from that fatal predicament? Then there would be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of mysteries. That's under serious consideration on my end, too. I'll be examining it as thoroughly as possible, but don't get your hopes up. After all, we've never encountered a death like this before. I'm not hoping for much, but I am looking forward to the results. Uishi-san, the chief's calling you. Thanks. See you around. Yeah, best wishes. And
And search notice. Please tell me this is another it was not put in there. Oh, it is. Jiro Tomataki, deceased. Resided in a cheap hotel in Shishibone City. Registered under the name Jiro Tomataki. Pin name. Travels via folding bike. No license. The bicycle was found 300 meters away, abandoned at the side of a forest path. Present on the day of the festival, accompanied by the missing Mio Tanako. Was seen around 9 p.m. by police. Location afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamizawa for 1 week each season for the last 5-6 years. Freelance photographer specializing in wild birds. Checked with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles of the deceased. Wallet was among the articles of the deceased. Mere act of violence? From the contents of his wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Chiba. Along the Sobu National Railway line? No individual matching the name Jiro Tomataki in the residency records of any of the Tokyo wards. Compare teeth to dental records. Sent to Metro Police. Attached photo. Sent to Metro Police. Contacting magazines regarding Jiro Tomataki. Mio Tanako, missing. Nurse at the Ire Clinic. Became close to Tomataki through her passion for wild bird photography. Resides in Okinomiya X District XXX. Single. Witness accompanying Tomataki on the festival grounds. Currently missing. Abducted? Or maybe a suspect. An important person of interest. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabble from jealousy? Need to thoroughly investigate their relationship. Place of work, etc. Need to get information from the police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. 4 jumbo ones. Uishi. Fair enough. And we are on to... Why this music for this screen? I don't mind the music being here, I just want an explanation. I just want to know why. Yes, god damn it, music. This is not saving and loading menu music in any regard. The game wants to end me. It's possible. Okay, we've gotten through a chapter. I am going to take a quick break because, well, doing that voice has left my throat a little rough, and I downed pretty much my entire tankard of soda over here. Let's hope Uishi-san does not show up very much more. I'm gonna take a quick break. No, I'm not leaving this music. I'm gonna put up another song. My soda is boring. Diet Mountain Dew. I'm just gonna let this play. So anyway. I will be back in a moment, folks.